right now we're on our final session, which talks about from flat to three-dimensional stars to give the stars life via AI and VOC. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for this, we're joined by our speaker, Cartina Ahlberg, Head of Customer Experience, Volkswagen Group, Sweden. Well, Ms. Ahlberg works with all the brands with Volkswagen Group in Sweden, Volkswagen PC, Audi, Seat, Skoda, VW commercial vehicles, and Porsche. With more than 15 years of experience from measuring customer satisfaction, thank you so much for joining us today. Over to you. If you can hear me, Ms. Ahlberg.
Okay, yes,
Yes.
now. Yes, here I am. So, okay, thank you very much for the introduction. I'm very happy to be here in this summit, and I will just share my screen. So, yes,
We
I'm
can
going
we
to talk
can
about,
see it.
that's great. Thank you very much. So, my name is Cartina Ahlberg, and I work at Volkswagen Group in Sweden. And as I said, I'm very happy to be presenting at this summit. To start with, I would like to introduce you a bit to Sweden. We have a population of 10.3 million people, and as I understand, it's about as many that lives in Jakarta. And to the right, you can also see how many people that live in per square meter. I just want to show you this to make you understand that we are not that many people per square meter. We are spread out in our country. And the country is situated in the northern part of Europe. So I would like to say good morning because it's morning for you and for me, but for you, I know it's afternoon. I work with Volkswagen passenger cars, commercial vehicles, Audi, Skoda, Seat, and now also Cupra, which is a brand of its own, and Porsche in the Swedish market. And as I was introduced, I have worked mainly with customer satisfaction surveys, and now also with as head of customer experience from the last years. And in 2019, we sold about 410,000 cars in Sweden, and we have a market share of about 28%. I would also like to tell you that we depend very much on our cars. As you can see, we have big distances in our country, so we really need our cars. And we also love our cars. They are in our hearts. We have had two Swedish brands, that would be Volvo and Saab. And Volvo is now a Chinese company, actually, but we still think it's Swedish. It's Swedish in our hearts. And a little bit more, this is the Swedish flag. And just to tell you something about our culture and where we come from, in the top left corner, that's Lucia. That will be pretty soon. She brings light to our country because it's quite dark in this period, this time of year. And we also have Midsummer that we celebrate that because it's light. We have a lot of daylight, so we depend very much on light here. We are also very proud of our Swedish soccer team, the women's team, and artists like Avicii and also Greta Thunberg, who is a climate activist. I think you've heard about her. We are also proud of our food, meatballs and mashed potatoes that we can eat at IKEA, that is a Swedish company. And we also enjoy a fika with a cinnamon bun and a cup of black coffee. In addition, we are proud of our nature, and we love spending time in it, both in wintertime and in summertime. And we get happiest when we get to see the first bluebell in the summer or in the spring, because then we know we will have light again. So that's a little bit about us and the Swedish mentality. And in addition to this, we are high in maturity when it comes to digitalization. This shows just a comparison with European countries, but here we are in the second place. And I guess this goes for Sweden in total, and it's not really mirrored in the automotive industry, because I would say that in automotive we are a bit behind actually, and it's a very traditional business with yeah, we sell cars in a traditional way, we handle customers very traditionally, and we think that the most important for the customer is the personal meeting and to do things via telephone or email. So, and this also is a background to what I'm going to talk about. So I will talk about some challenges as it is, and as I said, I've been working with customer surveys for a lot of years for the Swedish market. And in 2017, we went from telephone surveys. We had professionals calling our customers who had either bought a car or had them in the workshop. And they had this long questionnaire asking a lot of questions. I think it took about 15 minutes for the customer to answer everything, and it was a verbal scale. So it took some time, as you can understand. So then we changed to online questionnaires with less questions and star ratings. And for the customer, that of course was great because it took less time and you can answer it whenever you want to, when you have time and you feel like it. But for us as an organization, in the beginning, we thought it was really good, but then we realized that we didn't get that many answers on what to develop, on what to do, what the customers actually thought about us. So a dream scenario for me is to have a customer-centric organization where we know the voice of the customers in all parts of this organization. And I will talk more about our solution further in the presentation. So I will tell you something more about our challenges. Volkswagen Group, of course, is an international company with worldwide, and headquarters is in Germany. And we also have this Volkswagen and Audi is also in Germany. Then we have the Skoda with their headquarters in Czech Republic. And we also have Seat and Cupra who have their headquarters in Spain. So to get all this together in the world, of course, everyone needs to have a way to follow up. We need KPIs to see how we are doing. And that's why we have the star rating, of course. And we also have this system of hot alerts, meaning that if a customer answers 3 or less stars, the dealer gets an email saying that you have a hot alert, you need to take care of this customer and see what's happened, which of course is a very good system because we can solve problems that have occurred. So with these 5-star ratings, we also have bonus systems, or have had more in the past. And this entire system of rewards and behaviors makes us, as an organization, we learn how to handle the stars. So we know how to, or no, I really shouldn't say that we know how to get 5 stars, but it's in our minds that we need to have 5 stars to get our money and to have a peaceful life, of course. So it's so that's where I think the stars become pretty flat, because we tend to forget that behind each star there's actually a person, a customer, because so far we only interviewed our customers in this survey. And we solve single cases and problems that have occurred in the past, but we don't learn anything for the future about it. We just handle single cases, and we don't see an aggregated result of what we are doing or our actions, except the stars, and they are quite flat because we don't really know what we did to get 2, 3, 4, or 5 stars perhaps. And in addition to this, another challenge in automotive in general, at least in Europe, is that we are traditionally organized in silos. We have the after sales department and we have the sales department. And yeah, I think it's become better the last 5 years that we started to communicate with each other more and understand each other's daily work and also how it affects the customers. But I must say that we still are very much divided in sales and after sales. And for the customer, this is really confusing because they don't care. They want to buy a car or lease a car or have some kind of mobility, and then they just want to have a seamless period with this car. They don't care which department in our organization they are involved with at the moment. And this is also a challenge for us, I must say. And another challenge is that we have many dealers that are multi-brand, meaning at least for mainly for after sales, they take care of cars from several brands, not just Volkswagen or Audi or Skoda. And the way it is today with this portal where we can see the results from the questionnaires, they are divided in brands. So it's difficult for a person or a owner of a dealership to see the total KPIs or situation for the entire dealership because he gets one Volkswagen picture, one Audi picture, one Skoda picture, and for it's relevant to see some things just for the brand, but some things are, of course, multi-brand questions like, um, could you get the parking when you came to our workshop or whatever it could be. So this is also a challenge for us. So my dream scenario, that is to bring the true voice of the customer to each part of the organization. And by this, I mean not only what the customer says about us, but also what he or she thinks and feels and relates to us as a company and to a certain extent also as a brand. What can we deliver? And we need to know how the customers feel about us so we can actually in each touch point with the customer we can try to reach the positive feelings and also because at some places you can see that the customers feels not fear but it's going in that direction, and we need to handle it to make the customer feel comfortable in interacting with us. I would also like to involve the voice of the customer in all kind of development. I explained a little bit earlier that we are working and organized in silos, brands, and from my perspective, I can see in the questionnaire we have today that we get a lot of open comments. As I said earlier, our customers, they love, most of them actually, we love our cars in Sweden. They mean a lot to us and they are very important. And many customers write down comments, and it can be 5-star customers who writes, well, it would be so much better if you did like this, or if you develop this service in this direction, then it would make it easier for me. And you can see it on each interview, each customer, but we have pretty many customers. So it would be important to get the full picture, not only single cases, because you can't take decisions from what one customer says. You would need it to be more customers to actually see where are the strongest opinions and feelings. What should we act on? We need to be able to prioritize our actions. And also for development, like we have this service booking online where a customer can book their service online and workshop visit online. This is quite new. In as I said, we are not very developed in automotive when it comes to IT and so on, digital solutions. So I can see for each brand in the comments the customers write that they have opinions regarding this tool that we are providing to the dealers per brand. So I take the comments and I place them in Excel and I send the comments to the people responsible for the service booking online tool. And I hope that they take a look at the customer comments when they develop the tool. But I would like it to be an aggregated result so they can see what should we actually do, what's most important to do at the moment. I would also like to make the voice of the customer important and understandable, because in a customer-centric organization, you you really think that the voice of the customer is truly important. It isn't just something that you look at as the last point or something, but it should be first in line. And for that to happen, I think that we need the feedback to be understandable and relevant. So that's also a dream scenario I have, to spread voice of customer in the organization. So what about our solution then? A couple of years ago, we started to make customer journeys. We had deep interviews with customers, and we made traditional customer journeys. What's happening? How do they feel about it? Pain and gain points and everything. And then also the idea that we could use all the comments we already have in our surveys, Facebook, Google reviews, our customer care, verbal feedback that customer gives when they are at a dealership. It would be great, to just to add all these comments in one place and get some understandable information from it. So that's actually what we are doing at the moment. The customer journeys was made by uh, trained interviewers and linguistics who annotated all the comments, and also people who are experts in human behavior to actually understand what does the comment mean, what's the feeling in this. So it's not just about um, annotating the comments in process steps, because that's the way we have had it before, that we would like to have answers from the customers on our processes. How are we doing when you're handling in your car, the quality of the work performed, when you got your new car delivered. But we would like it to be from a customer journey perspective, and also from the customer journey perspective. So right now, we are using the same people that did the customer journey for us to annotate the comments, to be able to use machine learning to add all written comments. So far, we only work with written comments, uh, and get it presented in a way that is understandable and that we can use for decision making and development, which is crucial because things are happening so fast at the moment, of course, as everyone knows. And this has to be done in Swedish. We've had a way of translating Swedish into English and then make the coding in English, but displaying it in Swedish. And it's been a complete disaster. No one looks at it. And it's, yeah, if you can see the comment and it looks red, and then when it gets the code red, it's a bad comment, for instance, and then when you actually read it, it was a positive comment, then you lose trust in it. So it has to be done in a correct way, and it's only possible to do it in Swedish. That's my experience. And we only had natural natural language processing in Swedish since 2018. So, but now we have it, so we are able to use it. And I'm truly looking forward to this. So we are developing this tool at the moment. And yeah, some key success factors from my point of view would be to have the machine learning in local language, bilinguistics, and professionals in human behavior to get all the aspects from the customers, to make the aggregated data appealing and useful to the end user. And I would like to call every end user a developer, because I think everyone who is in contact with the customer or has to do anything with developing tools that is used by the customer is a developer, because it should develop all the time. And we need to make data accessible. Everyone should be able to find it and use it and become curious about the customer. So yeah, that's it from me. I would like to thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much for joining us, Cartina, today and giving us your valuable time. Thank you once again.
Thank you.